Cool. We're recording.
Hello, everyone. We are Group 7, and for the Paralympics disability sport, we chose Boccia ball. And my name is Jacob. Along here
I'm
with
Vanessa.
And I'm Nick.
And
Awesome.
starting off with our history on how Boccia ball came to be. It first started off in ancient Greece and Egypt, and it was played with large paw stones that were used as balls. And during this time, it was first bocce ball, where individuals played standing up, but over time, it gradually it became adapted to people who played or who had cerebral palsy. And it was first introduced to the Paralympics in New York in 1984. And due to how popular it was, it became one of the fastest growing disability sports.
Awesome. So let's go into how this sport has gained popularity over time. So this sport was first documented around 5,200 BC, where it then moved into Palestine and Asia and eventually landed around 600 BC in Greece. And it was played with Greeks and the Romans. So throughout time, this sport has been prohibited since it was played no matter what socioeconomic place you were. So it was played with the nobility and people of lower income. So that's why it became prohibited sometimes, because it would interfere with work. But eventually the Greek colonists brought it into Italy, where it gained so much popularity. And they that was kind of their sport. And finally, we come around to 1896, where the first Boccia Olympiad was held in Athens.
All right, so now we're going to talk about who plays bocce ball. And so people of all abilities and ages can play the sport. So it's, wide range of people that can play.
Awesome.
So for the rules and regulations, there are a few for the sport, and one of them is that all players must be in a seated position. This can be from a wheelchair or a seat or even on the ground. The purpose of this rule is to give everyone, or to put everyone on the same playing field and not to give someone too much of an advantage. Another rule is that players must propel the ball and land as close as possible to the jack. And the jack is what they're trying to get closest to. And they're able to propel the ball either by rolling it with their hand through a underhand roll, or by using a ramp and having someone else hold it on the ramp, or have them hold on the ramp and letting go and having it slide off towards the jack ball. As you can see in the picture in the upper right hand corner, this is an example of a player using the ramp. And continuing on, their ball must land closest to the jack ball for them to get points. And they're set up in teams, and teams can be of 1, 2, or 3 players. And most of the time it's individuals, but for larger events or leagues, it can be multiple players per team.
All right, so in regards to scoring, like Jake was saying, whoever lands their ball closest to the jack would receive a point, and then you can get additional points as your ball moves closer to that jack. And as well as if you're playing with a team, you can accumulate these points over the course of the match. All right, so we're just gonna play a quick video of the London 2012 Paralympic Games so you guys can kind of see that in a more professional setting. Awesome.
So as in the video of the 2012 Paralympics, you can see the different tactics used either by rolling it underhand or by using the ramp to get the ball closest to the jack.
And this is great for individuals with cerebral palsy. As we learned in our previous lecture, they have restricted mobility of the arm, so that ramp that is used to propagate the ball is really helpful. So this is a really easy game for them.
All right, so now we're going to go over the materials needed to play bocce ball. So first thing is an indoor area to play. You need 2 teams of 1, 2, or 3 players, and then 1 set of red balls and another set of blue balls.
As well as a jack, which is that small white ball that you guys see there.
So for the court setup, it is set up into 3 different sections. The first section, as you can see on the far right side, is known as the boxes. There's 6 boxes and varying colors, as you can see with the light tan, as they are 1, 3, and 5, and the dark gray, which is 2, 4, and 6. So the light gray would be one team and the dark gray would be another. Moving on to the second section, the lightest the grays that has the V in it. That area is for an area where the jack ball or no balls can land in. So, and then finally moving on to the dark gray area, this is where the jack ball must be, as well as the boccia balls must land for the team to score points.
Okay, so moving on to the governing body. So Boccia has an international sports federation, also known as a BIS Fed. So this facility this will facilitate opportunities for individuals to play at an elite level, national level, and regional, as well as international level. So there's a lot of variance within the level of sport in which you can play boccia, which is really great because it allows people to play this in different environments and really kind of let them progress. Yeah, so it allows for a pathway for individuals with greater needs. So they can start at the more individual level and then work their way up to compete international or even in the Paralympic Games. This is great since it highlights the International Sports Federation really highlights inclusiveness and accessibility of the sport for everyone to play. And this picture that you guys see right here, that's the BIS Fed in 2017 at a regional opening.
All right, so now we're going to go over ways to incorporate bocce ball into APE. So obviously bocce ball is for all ages and a variety of disabilities, and adapted for students with severe functional limitations to participate. So it's played one-on-one, pairs, or teams. And it teaches a variety of skills such as, eye-hand coordination, teamwork, and strategies. So these are all skills that can be, taken outside of the sport.
And continuing on with incorporating into APE or into your normal PE course, some ways you can do it is by using the rolling frame or the ramp, as we showed in the Paralympics video, as well as some other slides, where players they use the ramp and they set the ball at varying heights on the ramp to get their ball as close to the jack. Another way is the adapter or the pusher, which is similar to a shuffleboard pole, where they push their ball over into the court close to the jack. And continue on using a larger target, so a larger jack, basically making it easier for the PE students to get their ball closest to the intended target. Another way that can be modified is to use auditory sources placed near the jack, such as a beeper or having a paraprofessional clap or speak near the jack ball so the students know where to roll their ball to. And continue on would be to use smaller or larger balls, as we talked about earlier. If you're looking to make it more challenging, you can use smaller balls, such as the already used jack, which is about roughly the size of a ping pong ball, or you can use a larger ball, such as a soccer ball that can be easier to aim towards. And finally, using brightly colored equipment for individuals that have some sort of
Visual impairment.
visual impairment. Thank you.
Yeah.
Visual impairment.
Yeah, so like Jake is saying, there's a lot of ways that you can modify the sport to allow all individuals play. So that's really great. All right, so to reflect on this sport, it is highly adaptive and simple. Like you were seeing, there's so many ways that you can progress the sport, but also adapt it and make it easy for everybody to play and just include everyone. It's a highly inclusive sport for people of all abilities and ages. And another topic or point I'd like to reflect on as well is just how popular this sport became, and just to see its progress throughout history, how it has been restricted and prohibited, for people to now being a very large sport for everyone. And then to go above and beyond that, to include it into the Paralympic Games and give everybody an opportunity to play. It's really honestly a really awesome sport. And it's simple. You don't need much equipment. So yeah, that is our presentation.
Going off of what Vanessa said with it being very inclusive, if you're looking to add this into a general PE aspect, you can have the students of general PE play it as bocce ball where they're standing up, or have them play it in the boccia ball style where they have to sit down and play with their wheelchair bound students with either cerebral palsy or other disabilities.
Yeah.
And that concludes our presentation of bocce ball. And on the next slide is some of our references that we've used to help build our presentation.
All right. Thank you guys for listening.